Well, I'm not really, I can't even consider myself fighting for their cause because I don't really have any money. So, I mean, you have to have a bit of something to fight for the cause. But I mean, I'm here. I'm here to talk about it to anyone that's willing to listen. And I've talked about it, with the ambassador and things like that. But I just don't see anything really happening. I could see myself leaving, one day if things got just completely destroyed here. Uh, but and my kids were grown up and didn't really need me here anymore. Although someone once told me that the older they get, the more they need you. But I can't think of a specific time when I would leave. I mean, emotionally, it's difficult for me to leave just for 2 months, and so. But maybe that what could release me is that most of the people I've known, most of the people that I knew that were sort of young or older when I got here, they're all dying, because the life expectancy is not that long, and so many of my friends have died. There's only a few of the people that originally accepted me. There's only a few of them left. I mean, everybody else are people that moved here after I was here, or people that were grown up, that were made babies or born after I got here and then grew up in front of me. And things have changed, and I guess, it's kind of neat to be just a member of a community, and the majority of the people in that community, I mean, they've seen you there since they were born, so you're just part of the community to them. But on the other hand, it's, the culture's changing, and the Bayaka, they want other things too. They want to take part in the larger world, and they want work now and things like that. This younger generation, they want to be able to earn money to be able to buy things, and they want the respect of, most of all, what they really want, psychologically speaking, is the respect of what the Bantu, of the other Africans here. They want their respect and recognition that they are full, fellow human beings, the same as them. That's really what they crave. Although they would never admit that, but I can tell from that that's really what they would like. And that would be an important thing for them to have. That would ensure their survival on a level that they would maybe thrive that way. They would become part of the larger society and blend in with it eventually, And but as a culture, I think that I would only have pessimistic feelings that this particular culture would survive, far into the future, a little bit more into the future, and in some places a little longer than in other places. We had a guy who looked like he was in his late 50s, early 60s. He was a Twa from Rwanda, and he had been educated. He had a university education and everything. This guy was smart. And he came to visit here. We spoke in French, and his name was Kalimba. And he wanted to give a message to the Bayaka here, because where he came from in Rwanda, of course, what we would call here the Bayaka, the Twa, they have nothing left. The forest is gone except what's in the park for the gorillas, and they're not allowed to go into that park, and all the rest has been converted into farmland. And he had this big message that he wanted to give here, and he told me, to tell the Bayaka, the most important thing is for their kids to go to school and for them to have big plantations, because one day all of this is going to be turned into plantations, and if they don't have their own plantations, they won't have anything. And if they don't know how to read and write, they will just be not able to have any kind of work where they can earn any kind of money. And that was his message. And he said his people, he was fortunate. His father did, send him to school. And his father also had a large plantation, which he didn't sell off. He kept the terrain. And eventually it became not surrounded by forests, but surrounded by the farmland of the Bantu, of the Hutu. And he had he had his plantation, so he had a place to live. But a lot of the Twa there had nothing. So this was his message to us. Kalimba gave us this message. And I'm afraid, as pessimistic as that sounds, I think in the long term, he's correct. That's what's going to happen. There hasn't been that much work to try to organize the different Aka groups in Africa. I use the term Aka rather than pygmy. They don't like the word pygmy, and Aka is the ancient Egyptian word for them, A-K-K-A, so that's why I'll just say Aka. But I think the missionaries have actually tried to do a little bit. And I know there's something going on with the CIB with like a program in the Aka language, and so that that's on the radio, and so there's a little bit of thinking of a larger larger community of people. And in that case, it would be in Congo, the Baka in Congo, especially northern Congo, Republic of Congo. But this guy Kalimba, he came over. Well, no, he wasn't really an attempt to try to get us the Baka in contact with each other. But I think the missionaries have tried a little bit. They've talked about it. I think they've brought together Baka from different parts of this country, and maybe even a few from northern Congo or something like that. But they tried to do it a little bit, and some of these Baptist missionaries have talked about human rights and the Baka claiming their rights, and there's been a little work in that direction, but not really that much because the Baka are not politically, they're not very sophisticated, and it sounds like the Inuit just have things a lot more together in terms of their political awareness, and